Earlier, we discussed how cold and morally indifferent people are more likely to achieve their goals. However, although ruthless methods can bring success, they rarely bring inner peace. Those who build their lives through domination and manipulation may gain power, but pay a hidden price. They might stand at the pinnacle of power, yet find themselves plagued by emptiness, loneliness, and the torment of conscience. Why do ruthless and unfeeling individuals ultimately suffer moral anguish? Here are several possible explanations. The conflict between the will to live and compassion. Schopenhauer believed that the will to live drives individuals to be self-centered, pursuing power and survival. Yet humans also possess a capacity that transcends this will: compassion. Compassion arises from perceiving the suffering of others, breaking through the boundaries of self. Ruthless people may achieve their goals by suppressing compassion, but this suppression never completely eliminates it. When their actions cause others pain, latent compassion may be awakened as guilt or unease. This torment stems from the conflict between the will to live and the higher level of compassion inherent in human nature. The success of the ruthless is built on the unlimited expansion of will, destined to never satisfy the deeper needs of the heart, resulting in emptiness and loneliness. Conscience as the touchstone of humanity. In Crime and Punishment, Dostoevsky reveals the power of conscience through Raskolnikov's experience. Raskolnikov tries to transcend morality with his Superman theory by murdering an old pawnbroker, but is tormented by nightmares, guilt, and psychological breakdown, eventually confessing. Dostoevsky saw conscience as an inescapable inner force in humans. Even when the ruthless rationalize their actions, their subconscious moral sense surfaces as anxiety or self-loathing. As a Christian, Dostoevsky believed conscience was granted by God, reflecting the sacred nature of humanity. The torment of the ruthless arises from violating this divine order, unable to escape the awareness of sin. The evolutionary social instinct. Modern psychology holds that guilt and empathy are evolutionary mechanisms in humans as social animals, ensuring individual behavior aligns with group interests. Ruthless individuals may temporarily suppress guilt to pursue personal gains, but social instincts may resurface as psychological pressure. For example, studies show that even people high in Machiavellianism can experience guilt or loneliness in certain contexts, such as intimate relationships or serious consequences. Ruthless behavior disrupts interpersonal trust, leading to social isolation, and humans' innate need for emotional connection causes ruthless people to feel empty. Social norms become internalized through education, family, or religion as the individual's superego, a Freudian term, serving as an internal moral guardian. When ruthless behavior violates these norms, the superego triggers torment in the form of guilt or self-reproach. For example, part of Raskolnikov's suffering stemmed from his internalization of Orthodox Christian values, even as he tried to rationally deny them. Even without external constraints, the internalized moral sense can provoke unease, indicating that social norms leave indelible marks within the ruthless individual's psyche. Ruthless success exacts another price: loneliness. The ruthless seize power by exploiting trust and vulnerability, but this creates a barrier between them and genuine interpersonal connection. Those around them cease to be allies and become tools. Relationships no longer rest on trust, but strategy. Ultimately, the ruthless are surrounded not by people who understand and care for them, but by those who fear them. Schopenhauer viewed this as a natural consequence of following the will to live. The more a person depends on domination, the more they lose the ability to show vulnerability, and without vulnerability, true interpersonal connection is impossible. The paradox of ruthlessness is that while it brings outward success, it deepens inner emptiness. Control requires constant maintenance. Power won through manipulation must be preserved by further manipulation. Those who climb by lies must keep lying. Those who rule by fear must continually suppress rebellion. This success is like a fragile structure that depends on perpetual vigilance and calculation, bringing profound psychological burdens. Schopenhauer pointed out that the will to live drives us to fight for dominance, but it is doomed to never be satisfied. The ruthless find that control brings not peace but anxiety. Beyond domination, true power. Schopenhauer believed true strength does not lie in domination but in transcendent detachment. The ruthless live in constant fear of losing control, burdened by the need to maintain dominance, endlessly manipulating circumstances and fending off threats. Their power is actually fragile because it depends on others' weaknesses. In contrast, the person who lets go of the desire to dominate gains inner stability. When you no longer measure success by external achievements, you no longer fear loss. When you cease craving control over others, you no longer dread failure. Detachment is not weakness, but the highest form of strength. A person indifferent to praise or criticism cannot be manipulated. A person who accepts loss without feeling diminished cannot be controlled. A person who no longer needs to suppress others cannot be threatened. This is not surrender but transcendence. The one who no longer seeks others' approval or control is truly inviolable. In Schopenhauer's view, wisdom is not the ability to manipulate others, but the ability to transcend the need to dominate. The truly powerful are not those who trample others underfoot, but those who no longer need to prove themselves. When you withdraw from the struggle for dominance, you are no longer a pawn on the chessboard. When you stop participating, you can see the true nature of the game. It is merely a trap designed to control those who crave power. True strength lies not in winning the competition, but in no longer needing to compete.